I came to acquire this collection of letters through an amazing series of events. One day, I got a letter. This is in the days before email. I got a letter from a man I knew by reputation, Professor Ulrich Lutz. He is a theologian, a professor of theology in Switzerland. This is a remarkable collection of some 3,000 letters. As I began to open each envelope, I saw that there was more than one letter per envelope. From these messages, I began to learn about communication, about parents and children who are separated from each other. What do they say? What do they choose not to say? I hope that these letters will inform our knowledge of the Holocaust on many different levels. The first is a scholarly level, which is that they provide a window onto children's lives, onto parents' lives, onto the connections and the search for connection between them. They shed new light on that whole notion of the Jewish family. What is the Jewish family? What happens when ripped asunder? And as the letters continue, after the war was over, a number of people had been murdered, parents and children. A number had found safety or had survived in occupied Europe. So the letters continue after. Could they knit back together? If they did, how was this managed? What were the bureaucratic difficulties uniting parents and children who had survived, or siblings who had survived but had ended up in very different places? So for scholars, these letters are an enormous resource. But these letters have yet another dimension, a most wonderful dimension. Precisely because they were written by, or some of them were written by children, precisely because the other piece of the collection were written by parents, they speak to school children. And I hope that ultimately and eventually they will be first scanned. The entire collection will be scanned. Second, the letters will be transcribed. They will be translated from French and German, which are the major languages, into English. And then we will have the capacity to post the entire collection on the web in its original, in a transcription and translation. This opens the door to a whole avenue of education for teachers at the middle school and high school level. Their students, middle school students, high school students, are exactly the age that these children were. So it's a connection. They can speak to each other. It brings it home. So let me really emphasize that. It brings the history of the Holocaust home.